أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I start in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum, dear children, dear parents, followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and to the entire humanity. Dear children, tonight is the Shab of Ashura. Tonight is the last night of Baba Abdullah and his 72 companions. We are going to have tonight's Majlis about the Masayib of Hazrat Ali Akbar and how Imam Hussain and his companions, the women and the children, spend the night in the camp. I will request all of you to please take wuzu if you have not done so. Please do not waste water. Let's all put our hands together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I start in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Let's all say together, Assalamu ala al-Hussain, wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussain, wa ala awlad al-Hussain, wa ala ashab al-Hussain. Dear children, dear parents, please go out tonight outside your house in the open space underneath the sky and look at the sky and say the salam to Aba Abdullah. Call out to the Bibi. And then look at your right side and send the salam, and to your left side and send the salam, and ask for your hajat tonight. Let's send our salam to the mother of Abu Abdullah. Assalamu alayki ya Bibi Fatima Zahra. Oh Bibi, tonight is the last night of Abu Abdullah, your beloved son. Assalamu alayki. Oh, Assalamu alayki ya Bibi Umme Layla. She is the mother of Hazrat Ali Akbar. Let's send salam to Hazrat Ali Akbar. Assalamu alayka ya Hazrat Ali Akbar. And let's send salam to the Imam of our time, Imam Mehdi, who is really sad tonight. Assalamu alayka ya Imam Mehdi.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة حب العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجن من مارج من نار صدق الله العلي العظيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. MashaAllah. Jazakallah Burhan Hassan. May Abba Abdullah be pleased with you on this night. Shabi Ashur, you're reciting the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with you and your family. Jazakallah. MashaAllah Burhan. Dear children, dear sisters and brothers, please go and grab your ziyarat book, your dua book, as we have here Abatul with us right now, who is inshallah going to recite Ziyarat Ashura. It is very important that we all take part tonight. As alongside Hira Batul, I am going to play the translation and the transliteration for you to take part and send your salam to Abba Abdullah. Last time I told you the significance of Ziyarat Ashura. I am not going to repeat myself, but please all of you to take part and send curse on the enemies of Abba Abdullah. An important part that I would like before Hira Batul starts is that a lot of the times we sit and do and recite Ziyarat Ashura. But the best way, the best manner, because we are sending salam. Remember how when we send salam to Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we bow down, we send salam. When we hear about the name of Imam Mehdi, our 12th Imam, we bow down or we stand up. Exactly in that same manner, Abba Abdullah deserves that we all stand up in respect, face the Qibla tonight, and send our salam to Abba Abdullah. And a very important part in the Ziyarat Ashura is the last sajda. When we go to the sajda in the last part of the Ziyarat Ashura, it is very important for you that we only do sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, this is Ziyarat Ashura. We are sending our salam to Abba Abdullah. But when you go to sajda, think of Allah, because you only do sajda to Allah. But through the intercession, through the wasila of Charda Masumeen, through the wasila of Shohadai Karbala, through the wasila of Abba Abdullah, we are reaching out to Allah. That's something I wanted to clarify for all of you, that every time you do sajda, it's only for Allah. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain. Hira Batul is first of all going to recite Dua Imam Zamana. Let's all stand up, face the Qibla, and send our salam.
وأجوركم بمصابنا بالحسين عليه السلام وجعلنا وإياكم من الطالبين بثاره مع وليه الإمام المهدي من آل محمد عليهم السلام. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور، السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك، عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله، لقد عظمت الرزية وجلت وعظمت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام، وجلت وعظمت مصيبتك في السماوات على جميع أهل السماوات. فلعن الله أمة أسست أساس الظلم والجور عليكم أهل البيت، ولعن الله أمة دفعتكم عن مقامكم وأزالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها، ولعن الله أمة قتلتكم، ولعن الله الممهدين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشياعهم وأتباعهم وأوليائهم. يا أبا عبد الله، إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم إلى يوم القيامة. ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان، ولعن الله بني أمية قاطبا، ولعن الله ابن مرجان، ولعن الله عمر بن سعد، ولعن الله شمرا، ولعن الله أمة أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت لقتالك. بأبي أنت وأمي لقد عظم مصابي بك، فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك وأن يرزقني طلب ثارك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة. يا أبا عبد الله، إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بموالاتك وبالبراءة ممن أسس أساس ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانه وجرى في ظلمه وجوره عليكم وعلى أشياعكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم، وأتقرب إلى الله ثم إليكم بموالاتكم وموالاة وليكم بالبراءة من أعدائكم والناصبين لكم الحرب وبالبراءة من أشياعهم وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم. فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة وأن يثبت لي عندكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة، وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود لكم عند الله، وأن يرزقني طلب ثاري مع إمام هدى ظاهر ناطق بالحق منكم. وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يعطيني بمصابي بكم أفضل ما يعطي مصابا بمصيبته، مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية وابن آكلة الأكباد اللعين ابن لعين على لسانك ولسانك نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وقف فيه نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم لعن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبد العابدين. وهذا يوم فرحت به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فضاعف عليهم اللعن لعنا منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقفي هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منهم واللعنة عليهم وبالموالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم لعن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم لعن العصابة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم لعنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين عليه السلام. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين عليه السلام. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين عليه السلام. اللهم خص أنت أول ظالم باللعن مني وابدأ به أولا ثم العن الثانية والثالثة والرابع. اللهم العن يزيد خامسا والعن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجانه وعمر بن سعد وشمرا وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. Please do sajda. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مصابهم. الحمد لله على عظيم رزيتي. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين عليه السلام وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah, mashallah, Rabbatul. Really nice voice Allah has given you. So, mashallah, really nicely recited Ziyarat Ashura, the way that Abba Abdullah truly deserves that we send salam on him. Mashallah. So please, everyone, I request you to all send salam, to all of you to send salawat for Hira Batul, for her upbringing and for her family's wellness. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Elisa and I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بار الخلائق أجمعين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبا القاسم محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Purpose of life. In order to understand the purpose of our life, we need to understand what life really is. Is life just worldly education, going to schools as a kid, going to university as a grown-up, buying a home, growing older and leaving this world? The obvious answer is no. But most of us live in this world like animals would do, educating ourselves, then finding jobs for the sole purpose of living a better life. Does that sound common? Wouldn't animals do the same thing, go out to look for food and then return to their homes in the evening? Let's look around our community and workplace. The people we know, uncles driving past and dropping their kids to school, the crowd of human beings. Do you think they all have a specific, unique purpose in life? We may be able to identify a very great, unique purpose for specific individuals. If we speak of those who are infallible or masumin, we might say, for example, like Imam Hussain was born for a very special purpose, and that he had a mission for which he was born and was created. So what is the purpose of our life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all wise, and He did create humans with a purpose. But that purpose is not an individual purpose, it's a collective and a universal purpose. There is one underlying primary purpose for which He created all of humanity, and by extension all of creation. This one purpose of our creation is that the soul or nafs is conscious of its creator. Soul or nafs is the real us, and not the physical body which holds the soul. Allah in Surah 23, ayat 115 states, "Did you think that we had created you in play without any purpose, and that you would not be brought back to us?" An atheist might argue there is no Allah or no God, and we have no purpose. To them, I just take real-world situation. Suppose a person finds a watch in the middle of a desert. What would they conclude? Would they think that someone dropped this watch, or would they suppose that the watch came by itself? Of course, no sane person would say that the watch just happened to emerge from the sand. All the compass working parts could not simply develop from the metals that lay buried in the earth. The watch must have a manufacturer. If a watch tells accurate time, we expect the manufacturer must be intelligent. Blind chance cannot produce a working watch. Likewise, with the sunrise and sunset, the timings are so strictly regulated that scientists can publish in advance the sunrise and sunset times in our daily newspapers. Who do we think regulates the timings of sunrise and sunset? If a watch cannot work without an intelligent maker, how can the sun appear to rise and set with such regularity? Could this occur by itself? Let's look around us. Flying birds, trees, oxygen which gives us life. Is everything possible without a divine strength? Most of us not have really understood what purpose of life is really about. We may pray a lot of salah, might spend a lot of nights in prayer, might recite a lot of Quran, we might do a lot of fasting, but if we have no understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have not understood the purpose of life. We can find on one hand there is a lot of prayers and fasting, but on the other hand that same individual is filled with envy, jealousy, hatred, backbiting, lying, and you come to this realization that they may be religious but with no spiritual growth. So when we speak of spiritual growth, we speak of a submission to one's creator, where there is a lessening of the ego itself and a greater awareness and consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and of knowing Him. Knowing that there is life after death gives view on the life that will soon come to an end when we die. Whilst it is natural and understandable for us to strive for a better standard of living, live a comfortable life and earn more money. Believe in life after death takes our focus beyond that. Our main focus in this life should be to please Allah and include Allah in everything we do. Allah has blessed us to be born in families who follow Imam Hussain and Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt who have shown the true essence of the purpose of life. Imam Hussein's refusal to Yazid's demands. In love, respect and devotion of Allah. The teachings of Prophet Rasulullah, Bibi Zainab's love for her brother, Bibi Sakina's love for her 6-month brother Hazrat Ali Asghar, Hazrat Abbas's rejection to himself to drink water when he reached the river to get water for Bibi Sakina. All this in essence are examples which shows the level of greatness, respect and devotion to Allah. If we, with all our learnings and all our experience, cannot come to the conclusion that we have a Creator before whom we must bow, then we have no wisdom but just Jahallah. It does not matter how much education we have got. Salawats. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. MashaAllah. Please, I request all of you guys to recite salawat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Mehdi Ali Agha and I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Salawat by Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Hai Akbar, Hai Akbar, Hai Akbar, Hai Akbar, Hai Akbar. تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے ہائے کیسی قیامت ہائے کیسی قیامت کی خبر آئی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے کس کو آواز دے خاص نہیں عباس نہیں رن میں شبیر اکیلے ہیں کوئی پاس نہیں کیسی پردیس میں غربت کیسی پردیس میں غربت کی گھڑی آئی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے لاش اکبر کی اٹھاتے ہیں تو گر جاتے ہیں تھام کر ٹوٹی کمر شاہ یہ فرماتے ہیں ہائے کیا وقت ہے کیا ہائے کیا وقت ہے کیا عالم تنہائی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے غم زدہ باپ تڑپتا ہے بکا کرتی ہے ماں بی بی آخاق پہ بیٹھی ہوئی کرتی ہے فغام ایک کوہرام ہے غم ایک کوہرام کے غم کی گھٹا چھائی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے ہنستے ہیں باپ کی حالت پہ سبیر جفا شاہ سے اٹھتا نہیں شیر جوا کالا شاہ یہ خبر پائی تو ماور یہ خبر پائی تو ماور بھی گھبرائی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے ہم کو مجلس میں یہ رکھنا ہے خیال گوہر پرسہ دینا ہے ہمیں پیٹے کے سر رو رو کر نہ ہنسنے کے لیے نہ ہنسنے کے لیے غم زیادہ مائی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے تشنہ لب شیر نے سینے پسینہ کھائی ہے صلوات بر محمد وعلی محمد اللہم صلی علی محمد وعلی محمد وعجل فرجہم
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. MashaAllah. Please, I request all of you guys to recite salawat.
Dear children, dear parents, moving on now, we have Hamza Jafar Abdi from UAE. Tonight he's going to deliver a masayib. He's going to recite a masayib on the significance of namaz. Did you know, dear children, listen very carefully. Did you know the army of Yazid, they wanted to kill Imam Hussain and everybody on 9th of Muharram? They wanted to kill them all tomorrow. Why is it that Imam Hussain said no? No fighting, no battle tomorrow. We'll do it the next day, 10th of Muharram, Ashura. Why did Imam Hussain let that happen? What difference would one day make? Today, tomorrow, or the next day? It could have happened today, or it could have tomorrow. Why did Imam Hussain say no, 10th of Muharram? The importance of namaz, dear children, namaz, our furoedin. First of it is namaz, then roza, fasting, and continues. Tonight, Hamza is going to explain to you, and he's going to recite the masayib. Please recite aloud salawat for his well-being and for his family's well-being. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in.
حضرات المؤمنین السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان اللعین الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. یا اللہ یا رحمان یا رحیم. یا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبی علی دینک. Prayer is the most important worship of Muslims. It is one of the pillars of religion. The first practice which everyone will be questioned on the day of judgment is namaz. Now let us see the prayers recited by our 14 Masmeens in Anoha. Please recite as salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj. نماز نفس کی عزت ہے اولیاء کی قسم. نماز دین کی حرمت ہے اوصیاء کی قسم. نماز حسن شرافت ہے انبیاء کی قسم. نماز قصہ وحدت ہے کبریا کی قسم. نماز خیر عمل کی طرف بلاتی ہے. نماز عشق خدا کا ہنر سکھاتی ہے. نماز عبد کو معبود سے ملاتی ہے. نماز گفتگو اللہ سے کراتی ہے. یہی نماز گناہوں سے بھی بچاتی ہے. نماز قبر تلک ساتھ ساتھ جاتی ہے. لا الہ الا اللہ، لا الہ الا اللہ. نماز وہ ہے جو فاقوں میں مصطفیٰ نے پڑھی. جگا کے اپنے ہی قاتل کو مرتضیٰ نے پڑھی. جو چکیوں کی مشقت میں فاطمہ نے پڑھی. گلے لگا کے زہر کو جو مجتبیٰ نے پڑھی. جو چاہتا ہے کہ عظمت نماز کی دیکھے، میرے حسین کا وہ سجدہ آخری دیکھے. پڑھی نماز جو عابد نے پشت ناکا پر ادا کیا، جسے باقر نے سختیاں سہ کر بیاں کیا، جسے جعفر نے برسرے منبر رکوع میں برسو رہے، جس کے کاظم میں مستر رضا نے لب پہ سری الرضا سجا کے پڑھی. تقی نے تقوی ابو طالبی بتا کے پڑھی. نقی نے نقوت باطل مٹا مٹا کے پڑھی. اور عسکری نے خبر آخری سنا کے پڑھی. پس نماز مصلی پہ رو رہا ہے کوئی، امام اصل ہے اور حجت خدا ہے وہی. جہاں حسین وہاں لا الہ الا اللہ. جہاں حسین وہاں لا الہ الا اللہ. صلوات. اللہم صل علی محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجہ.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. MashaAllah, Subhanallah, Hamza Jafar Abdi beautifully recited the Masahib, the importance of namaz. Let me make your screen bigger because your beautiful sister is also joining you. Zahra is joining you right now. You have brought tears in my eyes, Hamza. Do you know one of the angels said to Rasulullah, "Oh Rasulullah, how much will Allah give blessing to that person who brings tears in others' eyes? And how many people's eyes should you bring tears in order for you to go to Jannat, in order for you to go to heaven?" Rasulullah said, in one house, anybody crying there, every single person, you will go to heaven. He said, what if there's not a lot of people? How many can you make cry, bring tears in their eyes, and you will go to Jannah, to heaven? And then Rasulullah said, if you make one person, if you bring tears in their eyes, you will go to Jannah. It will become wajib on you. May Allah forgive me if I am saying this hadith wrong. As far as I have heard, this is what Rasulullah have said. You have brought tears in my eyes, and I am sure 100% you have brought tears in the eyes of everybody else watching at home about the importance of namaz. How many times we miss namaz, dear children? How light do we take namaz? We say, I'm tired, I'll go later and I pray. I'll do the qaza of namaz, it's okay. No, dear children, it's not okay. MashaAllah, Hamza, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He always guides you on the correct path and you never ever miss your salah. Not only you do your wajib salah, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He blesses you, that you do namaz-e-shab. There's two things that if you recite, if you perform, you will go Jannat, which is namaz-e-shab and ziyarat-e-ashura. And you do that beautifully, Hamza, ziyarat-e-ashura. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you wake up in the middle of your night and you get up for namaz-e-shab. Subhanallah, mashallah. May Allah bless you and your family and dear Zahra. Subhanallah. Dear children, dear parents, please recite aloud salawat for the reappearance of Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain. Dear children, from Hazrat Ono Muhammad to Hazrat Qasim to Hazrat Ali Asghar to Hazrat Abbas, and tonight we are doing the Masahib of Hazrat Ali Akbar, the son of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and Bibi Layla. Look at the, I hope you can see my cursor going. Dear children, Imam Hussain alayhi salam, see here, Imam Hussain had 3 wives according to most historians. The first wife was Bibi Rubab, who was the mother of Bibi Sakina and Hazrat Ali Asghar. Remember, on 2 days' time, Bibi Rubab is going to lose Hazrat Ali Asghar. Bibi Sakina is going to go with her mother to Sham, and you know what will happen to Bibi Sakina in that zindan, in that prison. Then the second wife is Bibi Layla, the mother of Hazrat Ali Akbar. Tonight you will hear the Masahib of how Hazrat Ali Akbar was martyred on the 10th of Muharram. The third wife of Imam Hussain is Bibi Sherbano. And Imam Sajjad alayhi salam was also present at Karbala. You know, dear children, a lot of this, how he was sick. If Allah had not made Imam Sajjad sick, if he was not in a coma on the bed of sickness, then he would have fighted too on the day of Ashura. But the Imamat had to continue. The line of success, the line of Imamat had to go to from Imam Ali is our first Imam, to Imam Hassan, then it went to Imam Hussain, then it went to Imam Sajjad. And remember, Hazrat Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam was present there as well, who is the son of Imam Sajjad. So 3 Imams were present in Karbala. Imam Hussain got Shaheed, Imam Sajjad and Imam Muhammad Baqir were not. Remember Bibi Zainab's, Hazrat On and Muhammad's Masayib, they were martyred on 10th of Muharram. Many says Bibi Kulsum, the sister of Bibi Zainab, also went to Karbala. You all know Hazrat Hussain alayhi salam was shaheed before coming into the world, the son of Bibi Fatima. And dear children, on this side, if you focus, Imam Ali went and got second married to Bibi Banin, Salamullah alayha, who had Hazrat Abbas, Abdullah, Jafar, and Usman. I'm refreshing your mind, repeating, so you remember the lineage of who is who. Tonight's message, dear children, Imam Hussain, the tragedy of Karbala, Hazrat Ali Akbar alayhi salam teaches us the message, the ability to distinguish between right and wrong. All these children that were martyred on the 10th of Muharram were not just from the family of Ahlul Bayt. They were, but many were not in the family of Ahlul Bayt. They taught us that hard times will come and you have to make a decision whether you want to follow that path or you want to choose another path. You need to make a distinction between what's right and what's wrong, what your decision is going to be. Hazrat Ali Akbar is the prime example. He is also known as Shabi Rasul Khuda sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, just an image resembling Rasulullah, our Prophet, from his look. When Imam Hussain every single time looks at Hazrat Ali Akbar, do you know what he says? Oh, my son Hazrat Ali Akbar, you remind me of Rasulullah. On the 10th of Muharram, he tells Hazrat Ali Akbar, go and recite the final azan. Hazrat Ali Akbar goes and recites the final azan. Every time he says, I look at you, your features, your face, it reminds me of my grandfather Rasulullah. Just imagine how hard it is for Hazrat Ali Akbar saying Khuda Hafiz to his father in the final moment. Dear children, look at this picture. This is the picture of Hazrat Ali Akbar going to the Maqtal, going to the battlefield. Listen to what he says. I am Ali, the son of Hussain ibn Ali. I swear to the Lord of Kaaba, we are the closest family members of Muhammad, peace be upon him, to Rasulullah. And I swear to Allah that you won't govern us. He made a decision to go and fight in the battlefield. Not only because his father said to go, not because he understood the Imam of our time, but there was no pressure. There was no compulsion. Islam is no compulsion, dear children. You have to make your own decision to go and do the right thing, to distinguish if you want to stay on the true path or not. Look at this picture, dear children. This is the time when Imam Hussain is helping Hazrat Ali Akbar to sit and get on the horse to go towards the battlefield. What does he say to Hazrat Ali Akbar? He says, my son Ali Akbar, I want to see you as long as I can. I will stop here, my son, but promise me you will keep on looking back after every few steps. Akbar, my darling, your old father wants to see you as long as he can. How hard is it for a father? This is another one where Hazrat Ali Akbar is going towards the Maqtal, to the battlefield, and Imam Hussain, Ya Aba Abdullah Hussain, I can't imagine the pain, the grief, what you were feeling at that moment, losing your son. Dear children, I am now going to play the video by Sayyida Hania Naqvi. Please recite a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad
وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Please recite another salawat for the reappearance of Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa آل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Hazrat Ali Akbar was the son of Imam Hussain. He was a handsome young man of 18. His mother's name was Layla. He was also a brave soldier. He had been taught fencing and archery by Hazrat Abbas. He so much resembled the Holy Prophet. Imam Hussain was often heard saying, "Whenever I remember the Holy Prophet, I look at Ali Akbar." Hazrat Ali Akbar had a loud, beautiful voice. It was he who always recited Adhan. On the morning of Ashura day, Hazrat Ali Akbar recited Adhan. Everyone knew that it was the last time they would hear Hazrat Ali Akbar's Adhan. Imam Hussain began to weep. When Hazrat Ali Akbar began his Adhan, the ladies could also be heard crying in their tents. After Zohar prayers, Hazrat Ali Akbar stood in front of Imam Hussain. He said, "Father, I request for permission to go and fight the enemies of Islam." Imam looked at his son lovingly. He said, "Akbar, you have my permission. May Allah be with you. But Akbar, you know how much your mother, sisters, and aunts love you. Go and say farewell to them." Ali Akbar went into the tent of his mother. Every time he wanted to come out of the tent, the mother, aunts, and sisters would pull his cloak and say, "Oh Akbar, how can we live without you?" Finally, Imam Hussain had to go in and plead with all to let Hazrat Ali Akbar go. Imam helped his youthful son to mount the horse. As Akbar began to ride towards the battlefield, he heard footsteps behind him. He looked back and saw his father. He said, "Father, you have said goodbye. Why are you walking behind me?" Imam Hussain replied, "My son, had you been a father, you would surely have understood." Hazrat Ali Akbar fought very bravely. No one dared come close to him in single combat after he had killed so many well-known warriors. Umar Saad ordered his soldiers to finish off the young man, saying, "When he dies, Hussain will not want to live. Ali Akbar is the life of Hussain. Kill him!" While a few soldiers attacked Hazrat Ali Akbar, another slowly crept up to him and threw a spear at his chest with such ferocity that it penetrated Akbar's chest and he fell faint. As he was falling from his horse, he cried out, "O father, my last salams to you." As he hit the ground, the spear broke, but the blade remained lodged in Akbar's chest. When our Imam heard Akbar's salam, he looked at Furat, where Hazrat Abbas lay, and said, "Abbas, now that this brother of yours needs you most, where have you gone?" With all his strength sapped by the anguish in Akbar's voice, Imam Hussain began to walk towards the battlefield. Let us pause briefly to remind ourselves of an incident in the 7th Hijrah. The Jews of Khyber had revolted against the Holy Prophet. The Prophet and the Muslims of Medina laid a siege on Khyber. They surrounded the fortress in which the Jews had taken shelter. The Muslims could not get a victory unless they entered the fortress. There was a moat surrounding the fortress. Hazrat Ali had been unable to accompany the Muslims due to his illness. 3 days passed, and the Muslims could not find any solution. Even if they got across the moat, they would face the famous gates of the fortress. These were made of steel, and it is said that at least 20 men were needed to push open or close each gate. On the third day, after the morning prayers, the Prophet summoned Imam Ali. Hazrat Ali immediately responded. He jumped his horse over the moat and with one hand swung open both the gates of the fortress with such force that they broke off their hinges. He carried them and put them across the moat to form a bridge. The Muslims rode into the fortress and conquered Khyber. Now let us go back to Karbala. When Imam Hussain got to where Ali Akbar lay, he took him in his arms. Akbar had his right hand on the chest. He placed his left arm over the shoulder of his father. Imam Hussain said, Akbar, why do you embrace me with only one arm? Akbar would not reply. Imam Hussain tried to move Akbar's hand. Akbar resisted. Imam gently moved the hand. Then he saw it. He saw the blade of the spear. Imam Hussain laid Hazrat Ali Akbar on the ground, and sitting on his knees, he put both his hands on the blade of the spear.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah, Sayyida Hania Naqvi. May Allah bless you endlessly in this life and hereafter. May the nur of Ahlul Bayt create such a path for you that you cross the bridge on the day of judgment towards heaven, where Ahlul Bayt are greeting you and your family easily to the doors and the gate of heaven. MashaAllah. Very close, dear children. We are at the end of tonight's Majlis, and inshallah joining us now for the final Noha recitation, we have Sayyida Noria Naqvi from Australia. She has prepared a Noha. Let's all recite a last salawat for her well-being and for her family's well-being. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in.
नाश अकबर उठा रहे हैं हुसैन, लाश अकबर उठा रहे हैं हुसैन, कर लो रोशन के आ रहे हैं हुसैन, लाश अकबर उठा रहे हैं हुसैन, जिस जगह रख रहे हैं पेशानी, 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 फख्र काबा बना रहे हैं हुसैन, लाश अकबर उठा रहे हैं हुसैन, लड़खड़ाए हैं अंबिया के कदम, 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 जिस जगह मुस्कुरा रहे हैं हुसैन, लाश अकबर उठा रहे हैं हुसैन, दो सदा हो कहानी अकबर, दो सदा हो कहानी अकबर, दो सदा हो कहानी अकबर,
دو صدا ہو کہانی اکبر ٹھوکریں دکھا رہے ہیں حسین لاش اکبر اٹھا رہے ہیں حسین جاؤ خیمے میں جاؤ اے زینب 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 لاش اکبر کی لا رہی ہے حسین لاش اکبر اٹھا رہی ہے حسین آہ کرتے ہیں بیٹھ جاتے ہیں 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 کس کا لاشا اٹھا رہے ہیں حسین لاش اکبر اٹھا رہے ہیں حسین چن کے قاسم کی لاش کے ٹکڑے 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 اپنے دامن ملا رہے ہیں حسین لاش اکبر اٹھا رہے ہیں حسین لاش اکبر اٹھا رہے ہیں حسین دل کی قوت دکھا رہے ہیں حسین
اللهم صل على محمد وآل Muhammad وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. MashaAllah, Subhanallah, Sayyidina Noor Naqvi. Beautifully recited. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts your effort tonight, your entire family's effort, always in its complete manner. May you be guided your entire life to stay firm and true on the path of Ahlul Bayt and spread the message and the essence of Azadari in the real sense to the entire generation coming in the next few generations, inshallah. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that through the intercession of 14 Masmin alayhimus salam, you be the shifa for your parents on the day of Mahshar. Ilahi Amin. MashaAllah, Subhanallah, Sayyidina Noor Naqvi, beautifully recited.
Dear children, dear parents, now we have with us Khanum Amba Zahra. She is going to give Majlis to the youths. Please recite salawat for her well-being. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'een.
اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. Today we will discuss some characteristics of Imam Hussein's personality. Because we cannot fully comprehend his magnificent character, but we can try to understand some aspects little by little. Imam Hussain alayhi salam witnessed a very turbulent period in Islamic history, where many of the great companions of Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam and Imam Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salam were killed in front of his eyes. His brother Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam was poisoned, and Hajj bin Uday, Rushayd al-Hajri were all killed, for Abu Abdullah to maintain his patience in that period was difficult. Imam Hussain alayhi salam had displayed every great attribute of his personality before the event of Karbala. But on the day of Ashura, they all came together. For example, in Karbala, we all hear that Imam Hussain alayhi salam was generous. But Imam Hussain alayhi salam's generosity was apparent years before Karbala. When the Prophet was about to die, he told the companions to leave Medina with the army under the leadership of 18 years old Osama. The companions, however, did not join Osama. Osama bin Zaid was at Ghadir when he saw the Prophet say, Man kuntu mawla'u fahada aliyun mawla. After the Prophet died, the companions came to Usama and asked, was Ali ibn Abi Talib chosen by the Prophet or not? He said, do not ask me. I do not want to get involved in these matters. At the Battle of Jamal, they asked Usama, who is right, Ali or them? He said, I do not know. I'm not sure. I do not want to get involved. At Siffin, again, he was approached and asked, who is right, Ali or Muawiyah? He said, I do not know. Maybe they are both good. This is a lesson for all of us that when you see injustice, do not say, I prefer not to get involved. Get involved and support the truth because you may be the cause of dissension in history because of your silence. In the end, we do not remember the words of our enemies, we remember the silence of our friends. When Osama was dying, he had 60,000 dinar debt on his shoulders. The only person he could think of who could pay it back for him was Imam Hussain alayhi salam. He was pleading, please bring Hussain. So Imam Hussain alayhi salam came and saw Osama lying on the bed. He said to him, Osama, what's wrong? He said, Hussein, please forgive me. Your father was chosen on the day of Ghadir. I saw it with my own eyes. At Jamal too, in my heart, I knew he was right because I heard, I had heard the Prophet say, Ali is with the truth and truth is with Ali. And at Safin, I said, I don't know who is right, but I know that Ali ibn Abi Talib is in the heavens, whereas Muawiyah is in hell. Hussein, I'm in trouble. Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, what is it? He said, I have 60,000 dinar debt. Please help me. Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, Osama, do not worry. You are remorseful for your stand. May Allah forgive you. He turned around and told the person to please come and collect 60,000 dinar for Osama. Similarly, when the third caliph Uthman was alone in his house and the Muslims were attacking him, Imam al-Hassan and Imam Hussain alayhi salam stood by the door of Uthman to protect him so that the Muslims would not get disunited. They could very well have said, Uthman mistreated Abu Zar and Abdullah bin Masud and took our father's. They did not want disunity to occur between the Muslims and stood at his door to protect him. They were the ones who gave water to him while the Muslims were preventing it. And the saddest thing is that later these Muslims were the one blamed Imam Ali bin Abi Talib whereas Imam Ali bin Abi Talib had sent his sons to fight for him. to protect him despite their political differences. There are many great hadith that have been quoted from Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Imam Hussain alayhi salam said, I heard from my grandfather, the Prophet, that the best quality of a Muslim is that he speaks little about a topic that does not concern him. How many Muslims today make it their own business to get involved in every issue? On other occasion, he said, I heard my father Amirul Mu'mineen say, I am surprised at the human being who refrain from the food to fear of the illness, but does not refrain from sin even though he knows about hellfire. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah. Jazakallah, Honorable Zahra. May Allah guide all of us. May we all get Kamil Iman, complete faith. Dear children, every other night I keep telling you that don't just pray, that Allah guides us and gives us Iman, gives us Kamil. It's important that we all pray that Allah gives us Kamil Iman, complete faith. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain. Dear children, dear parents, now we have Sayyid Hussaini, we have Abbas Tijani with us, and Shabir Tijani. They're also known as Tijani brothers. Please recite salawat for their well-being, for their parents' well-being. Please recite another salawat for the reappearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajmain.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Tonight marks the night where the preparations for the Battle of Ashura begin. And on this night, we're remembering one very special individual amongst these 72 martyrs. And you see, when you analyze the Masa'ib, when you analyze each and every story of each and every single martyr on that day, it's all the more heartbreaking because when you hear about these individuals and these individual personalities, you get a glimpse into their life. You find these are people who wouldn't even hurt a fly. These are people who used to take care of plants and animals. You find Imam Hussain alayhi salam is the grandson of that man, that Rasulullah, who when he used to lean against a tree inside his mosque and then the tree was no longer needed and he built a pulpit, we know that the tree began to cry. And so what did Rasulullah do? He was so heartbroken that the tree that he used to lean on to deliver his sermons would cry. He buried that tree next to his pulpit in honor of that tree. These are so special individuals. And you find there was one individual amongst them who, when Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam would miss his grandfather, would miss that Kareem Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he would look at his son Ali al-Akbar. Every time he wanted to hear the voice of his grandfather, he would ask Ali al-Akbar to go and recite Adhan. And that's the way the day of Ashura began, with the cry and the sound of Rasulullah in the voice of Ali al-Akbar. You find that one by one, all the companions go and they attain martyrdom for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It then comes to the point where Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam says that all the shuhada have gone. Now is the time for you, Ali al-Akbar, to go and give a sacrifice on my behalf. You find that Ali al-Akbar begins to get ready for war, and Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam says, oh Ali al-Akbar, before you go and say goodbye to your auntie Zainab, go and say goodbye to your mother, go and say goodbye to your sisters. You find Ali al-Akbar walks into the tent. And when Ali al-Akbar walks into the tent, all the ladies begin crying. It's said that the enemies of the Ahlul Bayt at this point began to see a very strange scenario, because they used to see the tent of the tent of Ali al-Akbar go up and come down and go up and come down and go up and come down. Because Ali al-Akbar, every time he would turn to leave after bidding farewell to the ladies, someone would say, no, Ali al-Akbar, please turn back. It said that the final time when this happened was when the mother of Ali al-Akbar, Layla, said, oh, Ali al-Akbar, please just turn back one more time. And Ali al-Akbar said, oh, mother, I've turned back so many times. Why do you want me to turn back one more time? And she says, this is the last time I'll get to see you alive. Oh, Ali al-Akbar, I love you so much with my dear heart. Please, just one more time, just so that these eyes can see you one final time whilst you're living and you're breathing. It said Ali al-Akbar at this point then leaves the tent and he begins to mount his horse. And he goes into the battlefield and he turns to his father and he says, oh, father, I'm going to show these guys a battle that is like no other. I am the one who has been trained by Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. I am the one who is the warrior of Bani Hashim. It's said that Ali al-Akbar begins riding out to the battlefields. Initially, the horse is walking slowly. And Ali al-Akbar hears a strange sound, because every time the horse walks, he hears additional footsteps behind the horse. Every time the horse runs, he hears the sound of running behind him. So he turns around and what does he see? He sees his 63-year-old father running behind the horse. And Ali al-Akbar dismounts from the horse and says, oh, father, I've already bid farewell to you. Why are you still following my horse? And Imam Hussain alayhi salam turns to Ali al-Akbar and says, oh, Ali al-Akbar, if only you had a son like you, you would know the pain that this father is going through. It said that Ali al-Akbar bids a final farewell and then heads out to the battlefield. One by one, he is killing the enemy. Two come at a time, he kills them both. This is the grandson of Ali al-Murtada. This is the grandson of Haydar Karar. This is the son of Sayyid al-Shuhada. This is the one, he is the nephew of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. He's killing enemy one by one, and all you can hear is the sound of marhaba, marhaba from Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam as he's watching this. They said that at one point, the enemies ask for a moment of tranquility because Ali al-Akbar has killed so many of them so that they can go and pick up those that have been sent to Jahannam. Ali al-Akbar turns around and he returns back to the tents. And you find that he comes to Imam al-Hussain and says, oh, my father, I've killed so many of the enemies, but I know I can do so much more if only there was a drop of water. Is there some way, by some miracle, that you can find a drop of water on these burning plains? And so at this point, Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam says, oh, my son, where can I find a drop of water? This is a situation where we are isolated in between two rivers. We are left stranded without any water. It said Ali al-Akbar at this point turns around and goes back to the battlefield. The enemies decide that on one-on-one combat, Ali al-Akbar will finish all of us. We need to find a way to stop him. So it's said that they play a trick on him. There's a group of men on one side, there's a group on the other, and they send out one combatant. As Ali al-Akbar begins to face this one combatant, the two groups from behind him start coming around the horse, and one person fires an arrow and it hits Ali al-Akbar on the forehead. Ali al-Akbar's head splits open and he starts bleeding and he leans forward. It's said at this point, when Ali al-Akbar is still on the horse, someone has a spear in his hand, and what he does, he runs and he embeds that spear into the heart of Ali al-Akbar, and Ali al-Akbar falls onto the ground. It's said that at this point Hussein sees his son fall to the ground, but this man says, no, what I want to do is I want to see this father suffer. I want him to see what I've done to his son. And so at this point he tries to lift Ali al-Akbar up on the spear, and the spear breaks and Ali al-Akbar falls to the ground. Hussein at this point, he loses his vision. He falls to the ground and he starts crawling. It's said that because he lost his vision, he was actually crawling in a direction away from the battlefield because he couldn't see where he was going. It said that Sukaina, his 9-year-old daughter, came and held him by the hand and says, oh, father, where are you going? The battlefield is this way and you're crawling this way. What is going on? And Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam says, oh, Sukaina, I can't even see. In the grief of Ali al-Akbar, I've lost my sight. And said that at this point, Sukaina says, oh, father, this way is the battlefield. And she turns her father to face towards the battlefield. Hussein is running and falling, crawling, saying, oh, Akbar, oh, Ali al-Akbar, call to me so I can hear the sound of your voice and I can reach to your body. And it's said on his hands and knees, eventually he crawls and arrives at the body of Ali al-Akbar. Ali al-Akbar at this point has a hand on his chest and he's saying, "Oh father, did I fight well?" And Imam Hussain alayhi salam says, "You fought very well, my son." He says, "Oh father, more than the wounds that I have, it pains me to see the tears in your eyes. Oh my father, don't cry for me. My father, I can see Rasulullah to my right and I can see your mother Fatima to my left and I can see that they've brought me water. Oh father, my thirst is quenched. Oh father, my suffering is over, but I don't want to see you suffer." Imam Hussain alayhi salam says, "Let me take you back to the tents." And it's at this point he says, "Oh Ali Akbar, I am by myself. Abul Fadl Abbas has left me. All my companions have left me. I'm by myself. Please put your arms around my neck so I can drag you back to the tents." It said that Ali Akbar puts one hand around the neck of Hussein, but he doesn't lift the other. Hussein says, "Oh my son, why are you not putting both hands around my neck?" And Ali al-Akbar says, "I don't want to show you." Hussein says, "Oh Ali al-Akbar, I am the son of the most patient one. I am Sayyid al-Sabirin. I am the most patient of all patient ones. Oh my son, show me, what is the matter?" And so at this point, Ali al-Akbar's body collapses to the floor and he keeps his hand on his chest. And Hussein says, "Oh son, this is the hukam of your Imam. This is the command of your Imam. Remove your hand from your chest." And so at this point, that Ali al-Akbar removes his hand from his chest. There's a fountain of blood, and Hussein can see that there's the head of a broken spear stuck inside the chest of Ali al-Akbar. As at this point, Hussein says, "Oh my son, I need to take this spear out of your chest." And so he said that he places one knee upon the ground and one knee upon the chest of Ali al-Akbar. He places one hand on the chest of Ali al-Akbar and one hand on the broken spear. He looks towards Najaf and he says, "Ya Ali, you lifted the door of Khaybar, but you never had to see this." And with the strength of all the strength he can muster, and while screaming, "Ya Ali," he pulls out that spear from inside the chest of Ali al-Akbar. There's a fountain of blood, and Hussein sees that the body of Ali al-Akbar shakes, and the life of Ali al-Akbar slowly begins to ebb away. Hussein grabs the body of Ali al-Akbar and with his bare hands and his broken back from the gham of Abbas, from the grief of Abbas, he drags Ali al-Akbar back towards the tents. And as he's on his way, he passes that point where he's collected the pieces of Qasim's body inside a cloth. He, for a moment, sits down to take a rest, and he puts one hand on the body of Qasim, one hand on the body of Ali al-Akbar. He looks towards the skies and he cries, "Wa ghurbata! Wa ghurbata, oh my Allah, today I have become completely destitute. Neither my Qasim is left, neither my Ali al-Akbar is left." Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
My son, where are you? I can't see. My vision has deserted me. Did I raise you for this day, to see you drowned in blood? This is the ultimate test of a father's love. A spear in your chest, your final anguished cries. My heart is filled with grief, oh apple of my eyes. My son, where are you? I can see. My vision has deserted me. I hear your final cries, to you I try to come. I stumble and I fall each time I try to run, crawling across the sand upon my hands and knees. Your father's on his way, my son, just wait for me. My son, where are you? I can see. My vision has deserted me. These hands upon your chest, what do you hide from me? Is it that you have pain or a wound from which you bleed? Please let your father help you in your time of need, and move your hands away from there so I can see. Hazrat Ali Akbar says to his father, my father, don't look down too far. A spear's deep inside my heart. And what happens? The skies are witnessing beneath the scorching sun. A broken father looks down at his dying son. Their bodies trembling with tears in their eyes as they embrace one last time as they say goodbye. My father, don't look down too far. A spear's deep inside my heart. Father, avert your eyes. How can you stand to see? You know that there's a spear broken inside of me. This hand of mine is trying to hide my fatal wound. It's time, I know my soul will be departing soon. My father, don't look down too far. A spear's deep inside my heart. I will take any pain, your pain I cannot see. This wound will hurt you more than it's hurting me. But I cannot say no, Father, to your request. My life belongs to you. I know that you know best. And then Maulana Hussain says, he looks up towards the heavens, he said, my Lord, this is my sacrifice, my sons dying before my eyes. And as you heard in the Messiah, Maulana Hussain places one knee upon the chest of Ali al-Akbar and one knee on the plains of Karbala. His hand is shaking, he places that shaking hand on the broken spear. Upon his hand, the hand of Ali al-Akbar rests, and the other hand of Ali al-Akbar is around the neck of Imam al-Hussain. One knee upon the ground, one knee upon his chest, upon a broken spear, my trembling hands rest. His arm around my neck, his hand upon my hand. I beg for patience for this test that I withstand. My Lord, this is my sacrifice, my sons dying before my eyes. Looking towards Najaf, I cry out, Ya Ali. The test of Khaybar was nothing compared to this. I pull upon a spear, taking a deep breath in. In my hands is bleeding heart, my son no longer lives. Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين.
सीने पे कैसी टूटी बेटा तेरे क़यामत, अकबर तेरे जिगर से बरछी नहीं निकलती, अकबर तेरे जिगर से, अकबर तेरे जिगर का है जख्म कितना कारी, छूता अगर हूँ मैं तो होता है खून जारी। किस बेरहम ने बरछी, किस बेरहम ने बरछी सीने पे तेरे मारी, اکبر تیرے جگر سے برچھی نہیں نکلتی، اکبر تیرے جگر سے ٹوٹا ہے تو جو بیٹا میں بھی بکھر رہا ہوں، پرچھی نکالنے کی کوشش میں کر رہا ہوں، رکتی ہے تیری سانسیں، رکتی ہے تیری سانسیں، پل پل میں مر رہا ہوں، اکبر تیرے جگر سے برچھی نہیں نکلتی، اکبر تیرے جگر سے شاید تیرے جگر میں برچھی کا پھل ہے الجھا، شاید تیرے جگر میں برچھی کا پھل ہے الجھا، کھینچی ذرا تو برچھی تو درد سے ہے تڑپا، دیکھی جو تیری نظریں، دیکھی جو تیری نظریں، جانے لگا اندھیرا، اکبر تیرے جگر سے برچھی نہیں نکلتی، اکبر تیرے جگر سے تکلیف سے جو تیری حالت بگڑ رہی ہے، رہ رہ کے سانس میری جیسے اکھڑ رہی ہے، دنیا ہی جیسے میری، دنیا ہی جیسے میری بیٹا اجڑ رہی ہے، اکبر تیرے جگر سے برچھی نہیں نکلتی، اکبر تیرے جگر سے کچھ پل ہے پل یہ بھاری، مجھ پہ ہے وقت مشکل، برچھی جو کھینچو بس تو اپنا سنبھال لے دل، اے میرے لال اکبر، اے میرے لال اکبر، دشوار ہے یہ منزل، اکبر تیرے جگر سے برچھی نہیں نکلتی، اکبر تیرے جگر سے نام علی جو لے کر برچھی کو شہ نے کھینچا، برچھی کے ساتھ باہر بس آ گیا کلیجا، فقرہ حسین کا پھر، فقرہ حسین کا پھر مقتل میں یہ نہ گونجا، اکبر تیرے جگر سے برچھی نہیں نکلتی، اکبر تیرے جگر سے برچھی نہیں نکلتی، اکبر تیرے جگر سے پر درد باپ بیٹے کا ہے بہت یہ قصہ، خون جگر سے جس کو توقیر نے لکھا، ہونٹوں پہ ہے تجانی، ہونٹوں پہ ہے تجانی، کہ دل خراش نہ ہاں، اکبر تیرے جگر سے बरछी नहीं निकलती अकबर तेरे जिगर से, बरछी नहीं निकलती अकबर तेरे जिगर से। या हुसैन 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 Hussein, ya Hussein, ya Hussein, ya Hussein. By Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم أجمعين. Jazakallah. MashaAllah, Abbas and Shabir Tijani. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with both of you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give health to you and to your family. Jazakallah. Please everyone recite another salawat for the wellness of Abbas and Shabir Tijani and for the family's well-being. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Please recite aloud a salawat for the reappearance of Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Dear children, dear parents, this brings us to the end of tonight's Majlis. We inshallah will have tomorrow's Majlis at 1 p.m. inshallah Melbourne time, and then we will have Shami Gharaban Majlis as well. Let's all put our hands together, dear children. You have been staying longer tonight compared to the other Majlis, but truly Abba Abdullah deserves longer than this, that we stay and do matam and cry for Abba Abdullah. Please say Ilahi Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all your efforts, your cry and love for him, for Abba Abdullah and for Hazrat Ali Akbar. Ilahi Ameen. May Allah give health to all of you and take us out of this virus. Ilahi Ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give Kamil Iman, complete faith to all of us. Ilahi Ameen. May Allah forgive our sins and mistakes that is stopping us to sacrifice our lives for the Imam of our time, Imam Mehdi alayhi salam. And may Allah give us all the opportunity to visit the holy shrines of all the Masumin alayhimus salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum ajma'in. Please recite Surah Fatiha and 3 times Surah Tawheed for the marhumin. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وأجل فرجهم أجمعين. Just a final note before we finish off. Please, I will repeat myself again. Go outside tonight in the open sky. Look up the sky and send your salam. As-salam ala al-Hussain wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussain wa ala awlad al-Hussain wa ala ashab al-Hussain. First to your right side and to your left side. And ask for your hajat. May Allah bless you all. Iltimas dua. Khuda Hafiz.